Oxford American and National Park Service present No Tears Project live in Little Rock. Recorded on Little Rock 9 Day, September 25th, 2023, commemorating the 66th anniversary of the desegregation of Little Rock Central High School. Follow us at Oxford American.
That was Ashley Tate. If you notice the dancer out here, her name is Ashley Tate. We're going to play one selection from the original suite. This is a song. It's called "To Be a Kid," and the premise of this song is what it must be like to be a kid when you have to do the work of grown people and legislatures and court systems and the general public. And maybe you didn't know exactly what you were always being asked to do, but you found yourself having to do that. So it has some of the embodiment of youthfulness and being a child, but it's got another little tone, an undertone. So this is dedicated from the heart to the Little Rock Nine, to be a kid. You heard from Chad Fowler on the straight alto. How about a hand for Chad Fowler on that straight alto? And then Marc Franklin, not just for arranging, but this time for his trumpet playing. One more time for this. I'm going to go ahead and mention our tenor player, Bobby LaVell, because he's like one of our special, really inspirations in the whole group. And what you're going to hear from his pen is going to speak louder than his words in a minute. But Bobby LaVell on the tenor. I could tell that y'all was feeling Darrian Douglas on the drums. Rodney Jordan on the bass. Kelley Hurt also sang with us earlier, but she's back now. Kelley Hurt on vocals. And also another traveling companion we picked up along the way, Treasure Shields Redmond, our poetess. We went to St. Louis and we partnered with people up there, and one of them was Oliver Lake. He's not in St. Louis, but he spent his formative years in St. Louis. He was born in Marianna, Arkansas. He helped found the World Saxophone Quartet. So he gave us 5 poems and some music to go with the poems. So for those people who are particularly sensitive, these poems deal with sensitive issues. I'm going to go ahead and get this out the way so we can go ahead and have a good time. But the poems, they deal with George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Eric Garner, Amadou Diallo. I'm leaving one out too. George Floyd. Who is it? Trayvon Martin, who we're going to begin with, Trayvon Martin. And I think the idea is that we have to be able to discuss some things that aren't always pleasant. We have to be able to talk about it. If we can't talk about it, then what are we doing? So also, it's going to be some beautiful music, and the poetry is actually some of the best poetry I ever read. Don't be upset. If you get upset, don't be afraid to laugh or cry. I may do all of those things. It's emotional stuff, but it also allows us to air our baggage out so we can move forward, we can talk and get this elephant out of this room. So that's right, we need to get it out. So we're going to go ahead and play Oliver Lake's aptly named Oxford Project.
It would be like that. Upon hearing of that law, stand your ground. Hunger Games for real. He who feels threatened. What does it take to feel threatened? How about he was looking at me? Didn't seem right. He looked like he was up to something. I was uncomfortable in his presence. He was walking faster and faster, and it was dark. I'd never seen him around here before. He put his hand in his pocket. Therefore, I had no choice. Had to blow him away. As painful as it was for me, but I had no choice. Home of the brave, land of the free, standing our ground in 2013. Gun at your side. What have we learned? Gun at your side. Where do we go from here? Gun by your side. Stand your ground.
That's what they called it. The newscaster said it. He said the police called it that. It was an alleged chokehold. My lying eyes saw the video, and I heard the guy cry, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe." 3 times. He said it 3 times. That's what they called it. The newscaster said it. He said that the police called it that. It was an alleged chokehold. But he was black. He was big, so therefore, etc., etc. They couldn't hear him when he said, "I can't breathe." They were applying an alleged chokehold. That's what they called it. The newscaster said it. He said the police called it that.
Can you believe that? Can you believe? Wow. I can't believe. Do you believe? Toenails in 2021. I thought America had come a long way. I mean, quite far, a good distance, but I was wrong. What did the blonde lawyer say about Mr. Arbery? She said he had LDT.
LDT.
Long, dirty toenails. But I thought this was the jogging while black trial. So what do you get when you have LDT?
LDT.
You get murdered. Murdered by gun-toting vigilantes. Vigilantes looking for LDT.
LDT.
Was Mr. Arbery wearing glass sneakers so the killers could see his toenails? On one hand, you have Mr. Arbery jogging, and on the other foot, you have LDT.
LDT.
He was jogging with long, dirty toenails. Did I forget to say that Mr. Arbery was black? The blonde lawyer said he had LDT.
LDT.
Mr. Arbery's mom had to leave the courtroom after hearing that. Oh, don't let me forget what the other defense lawyer said. He said the presence of black pastors was intimidating the jurors. Wow. They wanted the black pastors banned from the trial. Long, dirty toenails in 2021. Is this how the defense parlays today in Georgia? I know we have a long history, but damn! Oh, we've come a long way, baby.
pre-existing conditions. The autopsy said he had pre-existing conditions. Does that really matter? By the way, I already wrote my I Can't Breathe poem back in 2014. Okay, let's get back to pre-existing conditions. George Floyd. Right. First autopsy said he died of a heart attack. He died of a heart attack. They said he had underlying medical conditions, George Floyd. They concluded he had a heart attack while being restrained by cops with underlying medical conditions including hypertension, possible drugs, or alcohol. It's too bad about George Floyd's pre-existing conditions. America knows plenty about pre-existing conditions. Racism is America's pre-existing condition. Pre-existing conditions inserted to escape charges, how to get away with murder, pre-existing conditions. How did George Floyd die? Was it pre-existing conditions? Pre-existing conditions, or a policeman's knee to his neck and back, cops kneeling all over his body. Wait, I already wrote my I Can't Breathe poem back in 2014. Eric Garner, but pre-existing conditions continue. Autopsy went into whether George Floyd asphyxiated because of the actions of the Minneapolis police officers. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner says they didn't find evidence of that. Didn't find evidence of that. Do they have eyes? Or pre-existing conditions racism? He was a brute of a man, at least 9 feet tall and menacing. He controlled the situation from beginning to end. Second of all, he was armed with his door keys, which rang like huge Liberty bells, very, very loud. His beeper, which chimed like Big Ben, very, very loud. And Diallo was also very high-tech in a dangerous way. He was toting the latest lethal weapon, the incredible wallet gun. That's right, shaped like a wallet, but really a gun. Diallo used these weapons to terrorize, frighten, and kill 4 policemen from New York in the vestibule of their apartment in Long Island. These were some puny guys, very small in stature. I don't think either of them was over 4 feet tall, so you can imagine how they felt when they saw this huge 9 feet African headed their way with the infamous wallet gun. They were scared. One of them shouted, "Gun! Gun! Gun!" But it was too late. Diallo had begun firing from this disguised gun. He shot one of them 19 times without reloading his new high-tech weapon. But they would not fall. That's the reason for the 19 bullets. Diallo thought they looked suspicious. After all, they were at home. After all, it was Diallo who was out of his neighborhood. Diallo did identify himself, but the cops all had very heavy accents. So Diallo couldn't understand a word they said, all during this confrontation. These four little guys didn't have a chance. Diallo controlled the situation from start to finish. After all, he was the one who was armed with the infamous wallet gun, loud beeper, and louder keys. I remember something similar happening in LA when 9-foot Rodney King kicked some policemen's asses. He was controlling that situation also. Same thing here. When will all these big 9-feet black guys stop beating up and killing innocent little police? I am sick of it. They have got to get some taller police so that they can protect and serve, protect and serve, protect and serve. Why do these big black menacing guys strike so much fear into the shorter population? I am waiting for the day when we are all the same height.
We're going to continue this journey right quick with Treasure Shields Redmond. She's going to introduce her own poem, but it deals with Dred and Harriet Scott. And if you'll think about it, that gets right back to the root of the problem. If we don't understand Dred and Harriet Scott and devaluing human life, what are we trying to do here? So I'm going to let Treasure introduce it. She wrote this for us, and we're going to stay right on that same groove.
I bring you greetings from another river town, St. Louis, Missouri. A place where at least two of our esteemed Little Rock Nine spent some significant time in East St. Louis and across the river in Illinois, in East St. Louis, Illinois. When I was asked to write this poem, I realized that these events happened 100 years prior to the date that the Little Rock Nine entered Central High. This poem is about our esteemed enslaved ancestors, Mr. Ethelred and Mrs. Harriet Scott. When I was doing my research, I found out that Ethelred had been enslaved in Alabama, that he had already lost one family to illness, and that by the time he met Harriet Scott, he had changed his name, and he had been through just enough to walk into that court house and sue for his freedom. So this poem is called, Who is Sam Blow? 1. I knowed I could marry Ethelred when he told me his first name. Sam blow like boiled lavender. Sam blow like the top of a newborn's head. Sam blow like cold flesh well water. The good ghost my husband kept to himself. 2. That first evening, Sam Blow took off my husband, set him down like a good coat, whispered his first name, showed me his first self. We had a lifetime of age difference between us, but Sam Blow was young like me, with a back made of Alabama pine. The holy haint my husband kept to himself. 3. Who is Sam Blow? He the man who wears my husband. Yeah. He the man who come out at night. Well, he the man who left a wife and 2 children after he died. Yeah. He the man who lost a wife and 2 children in Alabama. Yeah. He the man who took his brother's name after he died. He the hurt man who wear Dred Scott like a bandage. The sweet spirit my husband kept to himself. 4. I rub pine salve under Dred's shoulder blades. He say, I left the whole family buried in Huntsville. Didn't bring nothing with me but this cough. At night, Sam Blow reminds Dred that he brought himself to St. Louis too. Sam Blow is the first promise Dred ever kept to himself. He say, I'll never die a slave. He say, I won't raise no slaves. He say, I'll buy our freedom. He say, I was shown that the Lord would restore what the locusts have eaten. 5. When I stood up to marry Dred on free land and a free state, I was a free woman. Free. When I pulled out our first daughter on the Mississippi, I was in water that can't be on. Free. I was a free woman birthing a free child. Free. I broke free water and Dred caught our daughter in free hands. Free. That baby was a prophecy fulfilled. Charcoal black and looking like a pap. Sad but happy. Hungry but satisfied. Black and free. 6. We talked about running. The widow would not take money for us. She meant to make our babies her pension. She meant to put liens on our work. She meant to rent us until she forgot her name. She meant for us to be listed in her will. Sam Blow came in dreams, dressed like an African magistrate, speaking like the book of Judges, telling Dred to sue for what he already was. I gave birth on the river. The courthouse is on the river. Sam Blow came up on the river. It's got to be a sign. 7. The number 11 looks like bars. It's how long me and Dred were denied. The number 11 looks like Mississippi riverbanks. That's how wide our story spread. Dred put his ear to my heart when he heard we were finally free. Free. The Lord gave back his family. The Lord gave him a bosom of rest. He say, Sam Blow, rest easy now. He say, Sam Blow in the bosom of Abraham now, Harriet. Dred Scott say, I got free, Harriet, and I believe I'll stay that way.
Treasure Shields Redmond. Who is Sam Blow? We're going to continue on. Another thing that happened on our journeys this year is we asked our tenor player, Bobby LaVell, to write for us. He's really the heart and soul of what you would call the Memphis tenor sound. We don't have enough time to discuss lineages of tenor players in Memphis, Tennessee, but he's about right in the middle of it as you can get. If you knew about Fred Ford and Honeymoon Garner, then you know, and Bill Harvey, then you know where he's coming from. So he wrote one for us. I'm gonna let him introduce it because he preaches it way better than I do, so.
Good evening. Hello? Oh, you can't hear me? Okay, because it sounds really soft to me. But this tune is entitled, My Spirit is Stronger Than Your Persecution. And what it depicts is all the hardships and the unfairness that you experience in life. And I will say, I'm speaking of African Americans when I wrote this tune, but it applies to everybody. And it means that in spite of all the dirt and all the ugly things that can happen to you in your life, we are happy people. We are productive people from day to day. That is the crust of it. I don't want to get into the whole thing, but just think about that, and I hope that you can carry that with you, because in spite of all the things that have happened to me, the unfairness that has happened to me, I'm a happy man. And I find a way to be productive in most situations. So that's what this song is all about. So, and I hope you do enjoy it. One, two, three, four.
Bobby LaVell. So we're going to bring it back home for the evening. We're going to bring it right on back to Little Rock, to Little Rock 9. The last two pieces you'll hear, the first one is a segment from the very first movement of the original suite. It was the overture to the suite, but we call this segment By the Numbers because Kelley is mathematically oriented and she counted a lot of things that happened, and she's going to give it to you by the numbers, about as concise as I ever heard it put, because it's a lot of information to condense about what happened. And then after that, we're going to play our celebration. It's the last movement of the suite. It's called Jubilate. It's where we focus on the part about we're in the room with these heroes, y'all. Right? Come on now. So that's the part where we're going to celebrate them. We're going to play the Jubilate at the end. So here we go. We thank you all for coming out. If I don't get a chance to see you or shake your hand, thank you very much.
By the numbers, the Supreme Court issued no less than 2 rulings regarding the class action lawsuit of Brown versus the Board of Education of Topeka, Kansas. In May of 1954, it ruled that racial segregation in public education was a violation of the 14th Amendment to the Constitution. This decision stated that separate education facilities are inherently unequal. In May of 1955, the Supreme Court would issue its Brown 2 decision, in which it ruled that desegregation must proceed with all deliberate speed. For Melba Patillo Beers, in order to get through this year, you will have to become a soldier. Don't let the enemy know what you're feeling. By the numbers, in the spring of 1957, no less than 517 black students were living within the Little Rock Central High School district. 80 wanted to attend Central High School and were interviewed by the school board. 17 of these students were selected. and 8 of those remain at Horace Mann High School. The rest of the students would be enrolled at Central High School and become who we now recognize as the Little Rock Nine. For Elizabeth Eckford, true reconciliation can occur if we honestly look back on our shared history. The dead can be buried, but not the past. By the numbers during what is known as the Central High Crisis, no less than 3 attempts were made by the 9 integrating students to enter Little Rock Central High School. In 1957, on September 4th, Governor Faubus deploys 100 members of the National Guard to block and prevent entrance. The students were also confronted with over 400 protesters. On September 23rd, the integrating students went again to enter Central High School with police escorts, but when confronted with now at least with 1,000 protesters, the Little Rock students were sent home for fear of their safety. On September 25th, after President Eisenhower federalizes the National Guard, he sends 1,000 paratroopers, the Screaming Eagles of the 101st Airborne Division of the U.S. Army, to guard the members of the Little Rock Nine. For Ernest Green, it has been an interesting year. I've had a course in human relations firsthand. By the numbers, after the Central High Crisis and in spite of the lost year from 1958 through 1959, no less than 9 students were high school graduates. No less than 9 students were college educated. No less than 9 have received prestigious awards, medals, and honors nationwide. All of the 9 contribute professionally and privately through civic, social, and community involvement. The mood was then, as it is now, no tears. Saltillo Bills, Carlotta Walls Lanier, Elizabeth Eckford, Ernest G. Green, Gloria Ray Carmark, Jefferson Thomas, Minnie Jean Brown Tricky, Terrence Roberts, and Thelma Mothershed Ware.
Kelley Hurt, Ashley Tate, Treasure Shields Redmond, Shad Fowler, Marc Franklin, Bobby LaVell, Matt Dixon, Tyus Diaz, Darrian Douglas, Rodney Jordan, the Little Rock Nine, Daisy and L.C. Bates, you. For the No Tears Project, thank you. I'm Christopher Parker.
Executive producers, Oxford American, National Park Service, Little Rock Central High School National Historic Site, City of Little Rock. Follow us at Oxford American.